Bald-Sicilian, FBS. I am very grateful for Fat Bald-Sicilian. I'll tell you why. FBS created more channels than Comcast. Okay, FBS endorsed a lot of channels. He created a lot of channels, and I bet he can't count how many channels that he has helped to get monetized, and I'm one of them.
You know, and then it's not like you have no violence on your record until you're 30, and then one night you just decide to go out and kill a cop. It doesn't happen like that.
Fabrizio was always a tough kid. He was a tough kid. He had a nice punch. If you hit you, he would knock you the fuck out.
I already had the position. I don't want to say boss, but that's what I was. I had the position. I was made directly with New York, and I didn't have to answer to nobody in my area.
I didn't watch the show, so I didn't really understand the magnitude or, like, you know, how big this moment was.
But you know what? When De Niro asked him to let the old lady stay, you know, and she has to stay with the dog. Well, God, that never started, huh? You know, that scene, and he was like, "Snoots."
Anytime I got to shoot at John's restaurant on East 12th Street, which was like a big mob hangout where like Joe the Boss Masseria would like hold court, and I got to work with Ivo Nandi, who played Joe the Boss. Those were some of my favorite scenes.
And the moment you walk in, I could recognize who's at the bar, who's sitting at the table at VI. And this is the first time that I meet Sonny Franzese.
As a matter of fact, outside the Bada Bing, Satin Dolls, we put a curtain in the parking lot. Everyone was wondering, why is that big curtain in the parking lot? We were rehearsing the hanging scene.
I'm living proof, guys. I'm living proof. I mean, no, I'm no millionaire or nothing, but listen, look at my life 4 years ago. I was in a fucking hotel. I was, you know, selling crack. I was snorting coke. I was drinking myself to fucking death. I was literally taking bags full of Ativan just because I wanted to die in my sleep. I was all alone, you know, and now I'm here. I have my family. I have a little bit of money in the bank. I got everything I want. And I got you guys in this channel. So if I can do it, any of you can do it. Hizzo, what's up, guys? I know it feels like I've been away forever, right? I don't know. But although I did not plan on doing a show for at least a week, which, you know, I might not do a show tomorrow, the next day, the next day, the next day, the next day, whatever. I have a couple of things going on here. First of all, I'm bored out of my fucking mind because Shanna's not here and I don't really have anything to do. Secondly, I decided on a topic for my next show and probably many shows to come. And you know me, I get very anxious and I want to get it out there. You know, I want to get my word out. I'm not good at holding things in. Originally, I was going to do it tomorrow, but I didn't feel like waiting. So like I said, I probably won't be on for a few days after tonight, whatever. But I'm taking a break from a break right now so I could bring you this very interesting content. I am going to break down this Son of Sam thing, and I really don't want to be on here super long because I've been sticking to my going to bed early shit. My plan, it's been working. I'm up every day by the latest, like 10 a.m. You know, I try to get up earlier than that, though. And Monday, I got to be up at probably 7 a.m. at the latest. And Tuesday, I got to be up very early for something I need to do. So I'm not trying to fuck up that routine. I just want to do this because when my friend called me yesterday and said, bro, you got to listen to this Franzese Son of Sam thing. I said, well, I have no interest in listening to that. Why do I have to listen to it? And then he told me a couple of things and I said, oh, sounds like I need to listen to it. So I did. Part one. Part two, I had kind of playing in the background while I was doing shit all day, but I didn't pay too much attention. I'll get to that. Don't worry. There's going to be many shows about Franzese and a lot of other guys, like I mentioned. You know, people who actually count. People who are actually kind of sort of real people. Oh, is it? All right, I'll take your word for it, Dame. I don't know. For all I know, it could mean something really insulting. I don't know. Yeah, I can't get to that point. Not as long as I'm doing this for a living. SOS up for parole. Well, yeah, but he ain't getting parole. Even he said that. All right, let's get started. I'm gonna go point for point because I took notes. Okay. And from now on, when we start the show, we're going to get right into the point. You know, today I only said what I said in the beginning because I was addressing some shit that was said in this very, very unbelievably short period of time that I was gone, because people cannot help themselves when it comes to me. They got to say something. Jesse, I agree. So let me get to my notes. All right. In case you haven't seen this fucking interview, how many of you have seen it? Put a 1 in the chat if you've seen it. It is infuriating. Now, it should be infuriating to everybody, including religious people. But as an atheist, insanely infuriating. And you're going to hear all about it. Mike Slick, what's up, bro? Good to see you. Take every bit of your humanity. Your life is over. The part that matters anyway. Just living and breathing doesn't matter if you're in prison for your entire life. Real talk. I'm not sure what that's. I don't know, Jason. My life is over. That part, the part that matters. Jason, what the fuck are you talking about, bro? I love you, but what? How does that relate to anything we're saying? And what are you even trying to get across to me? I love Jason, but that seemed like out of left field completely. Holy fuck. All right, so a lot of people didn't see it. Well, you're going to hear about it tonight, and you're probably going to go watch it after this. This is how it starts out. It starts out with Michael explaining that he took interest in the Son of Sam, basically only because the Son of Sam has accepted Christ. Now, I won't go off on a tangent about that one. I'll try to include it with the other ones I go off on a tangent about in just a second. One of the first things he says, okay, yeah, it won't be long before that tangent. One of the first things he says is that any sin is forgivable. The only one that is not is blasphemy. This is what I mean. Okay. Let me explain to you guys something. See, I sound like somebody else when I said that, right? That actually came out naturally. I hope it's not rubbing off on me. The fuck happened there? Let me explain this to you guys. There you go. Can't be all bad. Look what I did for Sharma's career. There you go. Got ahead of myself. My bad. Oh, okay, gotcha. This is why I feel the way I do about religion itself and religious people. Okay, I want to read that to you again. One of the first things he says, meaning Franzese, is that any sin is forgivable. The only one that is not is blasphemy. Now, let me start off by saying I respect everybody's religion. I don't believe in your religion, but I respect your beliefs. Okay. Yeah, I don't respect religion. Let me take that back. I respect your beliefs, whatever they may be. Okay. Religion, I don't respect, period. And this is one of the reasons why. See, a lot of religious people, no offense, guys, they have a hard time seeing through bullshit, which is why they're religious. Okay. And if you can't figure this out on your own, let me tell you why that's the number one rule. Okay. That any sin is forgivable except for blasphemy. Let me tell you why. Blasphemy is as you guys know, it's speaking badly about God or speaking as if there is no God, saying there's no God, things like that. Okay. Pushing back against the story, Now, in my opinion, there is no God. But I'll tell you this. Why would that be the number one sin? Me sitting here in my little room in Wrightsville saying there is no God, how is that worse in the eyes of religion than what Son of Sam did in the summer of 77? How? You want to know why they say that's the one unforgivable sin? Because religion and religious people, okay, their biggest fear, religious leaders, I should say, and then their followers, their biggest fear is people finding out that it's all bullshit. Okay. So they try to scare people out of speaking out against God or speaking as if there isn't a God by telling them it's the one sin that can't be forgiven. Even if you ask for forgiveness, you're still going to hell. Okay. That's why they say that's the only unforgivable sin, because they got to keep that story going and keep bringing the money in. You know what I mean? It's the biggest grift in the history of time. Okay. Religion. So I just want to express, besides aside, I'll say, from my opinion, that there is no God. And that's, just a rule that's put in place to scare the shit out of people telling the truth. It aggravates the fuck out of me, because what you're saying is you could be a chomo, a rapist, a mass murderer, a serial killer, a mafia boss, a drug lord, anything, and you can be forgiven. All you got to do is confess and say you're sorry. I knew that was ridiculous when I was 7. Okay? Confession. I was like, wait a minute. You're telling me I could do anything I want, and as long as I come in on Sunday and say I'm sorry, all is forgiven? That's bullshit. Okay? There's no fucking way. But my whole life I was told God will punish me. No, he won't. All I got to do is show up on Sunday and say I'm sorry. I could kill 9 people. It doesn't matter. I could push somebody in front of a fucking subway train. As long as I say I'm sorry on Sunday, nothing will happen. But God forbid I say there isn't a God. Then I'm going straight to fucking hell to burn forever, for eternity. It aggravates me. Okay, it aggravates me because it gives people a pass. Not even your religion is telling you that you have to follow certain rules. The 10 Commandments, for example, they're not even telling you have to follow these things, because they'll tell you that on one hand, and on the other hand, they'll tell you all you got to do is come confess and you'll be forgiven, as long as you don't talk bad about God. Okay? One thing you could never do is win against God. I can, because there isn't a God. So there's that. Okay, it's the type of shit that makes the Son of Sam, David fucking Berkowitz, feel comfortable coming out with his new bullshit story that he found God. Yeah, right, just like Michael Franzese did. And he doesn't even have to feel any guilt anymore, because he's been forgiven by a bunch of people who believe in God, have no proof that he exists whatsoever. They just believe in him. Okay. Then he starts to explain who the Son of Sam is and what types of crimes he committed. Okay. Like as if we don't all fucking know, because he's a serial killer. Okay. But he does a lot of this for a reason, because you got to remember, his whole goal here is to prove, because this is all religious people want to do. And I don't even believe Michael Franzese is religious, but it's his job to be. The main point he wants to get across is that even the Son of Sam can be forgiven. All you got to do is join us, accept Christ. I guess he's trying to get his ticket prices up. The more people he brings into church, the more he could charge the church for his next speech. It's all a grift up and down the line from beginning to end. So he's telling that bullshit. He's telling us the types of stuff that Son of Sam did. And by the way, Michael Franzese, you have so little respect. So yeah, exactly, Autumn Fragrance. As long as you pay the tithes. He has so little respect for the victims and their families that he don't even know how many people Son of Sam killed. He literally said, I think he killed like 8 people and injured 1 person. I don't know. Can you imagine? I do more research when I'm interviewing an ex-mob guy or an actor from the mob movies than he does when he's interviewing the fucking son of Sam. No research. He doesn't even know how many people he killed. He did not kill 8 people. He did not. He killed 6 people. And I'm going to give you the list in a minute. He injured about another 8. He did not kill 8 people. But what do you know, Michael? Again, this is just part of your grift. And you're actually using a serial killer to do it. Unbelievable. He doesn't say, not once does he say their names. Does he say the names of the fucking victims? I'm sorry, I shouldn't have even said fucking victims. Even that's disrespectful. Not once does he mention their names. Not a single one of them. And from what I saw so far, he never even gets around to talking about them. Okay? Like I said, I'm going to give you a list in a little bit, and we're going to show the respect of saying their names and how they passed and all that stuff, okay? And there's no forgiveness for fucking son of Sam, David Berkowitz. None whatsoever. I don't give a fuck who he apologized to. I don't give a fuck what family member of a victim forgave him. I don't care. I got a mind of my fucking own. You don't forgive serial killers. You don't forgive chomos. You don't forgive rapists. You know, you don't forgive certain people, no matter what. And the fact that religion is willing to do that goes to show you how sick they are, doesn't it? Oh, look at this. Look at that. I'll fucking forgive a serial killer just to continue pushing my bullshit story. Because let me tell you, the church leaders, okay, the guys that are really bringing in the money, the evangelists, all that shit, they don't believe in God either. Trust me. They know it's all a bullshit story. They're just using it to get money out of you. You think I get pissed off when you don't donate to me? Stop donating to the church. See how they treat you. Oh, for real. So he casually said that, you know, oh, he killed 8 people and injured 1. Casually, like it was no big deal. Like the 8 people were just, fuck them. You know, like it was a paper towel he threw away. You know what I mean? Didn't mean anything to him. He then tries to justify that he's interviewing Son of Sam by saying he's concerned about the mental health crisis in the U.S. That's how he tries to. Oh, and the reason, guys, why I'm actually interviewing the Son of Sam is because we have such a serious mental health crisis in America. You just start caring about that right before the interview? Like Michael Franzese actually gives a fuck. Okay, he's swimming in a pile of money every day when he goes home. He ain't out helping anybody with their mental fucking illness. And if he does, there's a huge fee involved. Huge. I hope somehow, Michael, this video makes its way to you. Okay, because I got so much more to say, and this is only one of many, many shows. Now, of course, after I do this show, a bunch of other people will start doing shows about Michael Franzese. Follow the leader, you know how that goes, but it's to be expected. So anyway, that's bullshit. The mental. He's interviewing the Son of Sam because it's the Son of Sam. Because even Michael is worried about his views, his subs, and most of all, his money. And that fucking interview probably bring in for him a fortune. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. When you get the kind of views he gets, I can't even imagine what he got. What did he get? Let me see on that fucking thing. This is part 1, yeah.
Believe in him. He should.
Shut up. 523,000 views. Yeah, so I wouldn't doubt if easily right off the bat he's making 10 grand off that. You know, that doesn't include any sponsorship stuff and whatever else he's got going on. So just that one video, okay? And us stupid people will be like, you think Michael Franzese gives a fuck about money? You know how rich he is? That's how he got rich, by giving a fuck about money, you know? Almost to the point of serious greed, to the point where he'll platform a fucking serial killer, a guy who killed 6 fucking innocent kids. They were children. Yeah, I know, 18 or not, I don't give a fuck. 19, 20, they're children. Okay, we all thought we were growing up at that age. Now, how do we feel about our kids who are that age? Like they're still babies, right? Yeah, because basically they are. Right? These poor fucking people that died for no other reason than for this psycho scumbag son of Sam to fulfill whatever the fuck disgusting fucking desires or fantasies he had in his sick fucking head. And Michael platformed them. You are a fucking piece of shit, Michael Franzese. I can't say it enough, and I'll be saying it a lot more in the future. You are a fucking scumbag. You'll exploit the deaths of 6 people in order to get your numbers up and make a few extra bucks. You're trying to get as famous as you can, aren't you? Interviewed the son of Sam. Big fucking deal. Yeah, it is. It certainly is a big deal. This is why I tell you, guys like him, I have no fucking respect for. They're the real grifters, the real bullshitters, the real greedy motherfuckers. They have no integrity. They don't give a fuck. They don't care. If he'll put Son of Sam on his show, who won't he put on his show? Who won't he put on his show? Tell me. Who's worse than the Son of Sam? Let me see here. Sorry, I don't have it all in my head. Yeah. Then he says, we believe that if you are sorry for your sins. What the fuck was that? Did you guys hear that? What the fuck was that? It's the first time my laptop ever spoke to me before. What the fuck was that? Oh, he'll put you on his show. If he thinks it'll get views, sure he will. Did anybody else hear that? Anyway, then he says that we believe that if you are sorry for your sins and you accept Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior, then your then your sins, I was texting, sins are forgiven and Jesus will direct you to heaven. See, let me tell you guys something. That's also part of the bullshit recruitment strategy. Okay. Who wouldn't accept Jesus if they knew that every horrible thing they ever did in their lives could be forgiven just by accepting Jesus? That's how they recruit people. Oh, really? You mean all the horrible shit I did can basically be wiped away? I can have a clean slate if I just accept your God? Done! And they got a new member and a new donor. That part really pisses me off. You know what I mean? As long as you accept Jesus, all is forgiven. And you'll be directed to heaven, the place that it only exists in a children's book. He then spews a bunch more horse shit and eventually begins the interview. Okay? He starts off, of course, leave it to Michael, the guy who says, don't think of me for who I was, think of me for who I am, and then goes on to glorify the mafia. Yeah. Well, the first thing he brought up to Son of Sam is, by the way, when the other jerk off was in the room with him waiting for Son of Sam to enter the visiting area or whatever, you should have seen how excited they were. Oh my God, he's in the room. He's here. Like fucking Trump just walked in. Unbelievable. Yeah, he starts off by talking about how the police came to the mob for help to find Son of Sam. You remember that bullshit. They were looking for him, and Michael says he's sorry if that sounded unnatural the way I read that. They were looking for him, the mob, because the police came to them looking for help. Okay. And Michael says he's just glad they didn't find him. Oh, Michael, you are a fucking scumbag. I can't say it enough. You are a fucking scumbag. What if you would have found him? Do you know how many fucking murders might not have taken place? You know how many people wouldn't have been shot? How the fuck do you, I want to know the exact time frame. How many, after the period of time in which the law enforcement was going to like Gotti's Club and all these social clubs and shit and asking for them to help find the son of Sam. How many murders took place after that? How many people did Son of Sam kill or shoot after that? But Michael's glad they didn't catch him. Yeah, because Michael doesn't give a fuck about the people Son of Sam killed. They can't benefit him. They're dead. Son of Sam, he could still benefit Michael. He could give him an interview. Make him some money. Get him some views, some subs. I hate these fucking people, man. I hate these fucking people. This is true greed. This is true fucking greed. Son of Sam begins talking about what a great family and upbringing he had. He does. You know, he talks about his childhood was pretty much great. Came from a great family, according to him. Great upbringing. Didn't want for anything. Was a very happy kid, kinda. Okay, which isn't that always the way? You know what I mean? Isn't that how it always turns out? Some spoiled little fucking brat who likes to pull the wings off flies and shit winds up becoming a fucking serial killer. Of course. Of course. He then goes on to explain how his family broke the news to him that he was adopted. Okay. Now, just a warning for anybody who's going to watch this. The next hour of this interview is a guilt trip. It's, oh my God, the poor son of Sam. He was adopted. His mother died giving birth. He blames himself for her death. Poor guy. Let me tell you guys something. There's probably hundreds of thousands minimum people who have that same story, probably millions, let's be honest. Okay? In the whole world, hundreds of millions of people who have that same sad story, and it is a sad story. How many of them do you think became serial killers? I bet you not many. Not many at all. Yeah, his mom died of childbirth, and his father gave him up for adoption. Now, his father apparently had the option to save the baby or the mother. The father decided to save the baby and let the mother die. Yeah. And then he gave him up for adoption. I don't think his father wanted either of them, the wife or the baby. Okay. Now, later on, he goes into, his father just gave him up for adoption because he didn't feel like he could handle the responsibility and stuff. Maybe he should have let the mother live then. Just saying. Okay. Maybe you guys didn't need to have a baby. Okay. I don't know. But the father gave him up for adoption. But, you know, they talk about, as it goes on, what a wonderful father he was. Even until just 10, 11 years ago, whatever, when his father died, he would come visit him in prison and stuff. Great man. Yeah. Loved his serial killer son. He blames himself for his mother's death. Why? Why? Oh, poor me. Shut the fuck up, son of Sam. We are being put in a position while watching this interview of having to feel bad for the son of Sam. A serial fucking killer. That's what Michael wants. Everybody's supposed to feel bad. Oh, poor son of Sam. Oh, your mother died while giving childbirth. you definitely were justified in killing a whole bunch of people then. Yeah, people just sitting in their cars, sitting on their stoops, out on dates. I mean, Jesus Christ. The fuck, poor you. I can't believe they even locked you up. It's total justification for what you did. Oh, Dorothy, thank you for bringing that up. Thank you. And if you're new, welcome. Yeah, that's another thing. Michael says that maybe Son of Sam was possessed by a demon. Now, I don't believe Michael Franzese believes in God. I don't believe it for a second. I certainly don't think the Son of Sam believes in God. The first question I would have for either of them is, if God is real, why didn't he stop either of you? Why not? A captain in the mafia who did nothing but steal from society and hurt people? Or at least order other people to hurt people. I don't think Mike was very hands-on in that department. And another guy who went on a killing spree, killing innocent people all over New York City. What kind of God? Just out of curiosity. Anyway, I don't believe they believe in God, but I certainly don't believe that they believe in demons. Okay, there's no such thing as demons. I promise you. There's evil that exists in this world, and some people are too soft and weak to accept that that's just the case. There's just evil. So they got to write it off. It's got to be something else. Oh, let's add it to religion. Religious people snatch shit like that up. How do we explain evil? Oh, we'll blame it on demons. When they're all sitting around writing the Bible, how do we explain away all the horrible shit that happens in the world? Taps his pen on his cheek, whatever the fuck they use. Let's turn this into like a modern office meeting. We'll create an alternate character, the opposite of God, the devil. We'll call him the devil, as in the evil. And then we'll tell people how there's demons, and demons can enter good people's bodies and turn them evil. And that's why all the bad shit happens. Well, why are we going to tell them that God can't defeat the devil? Ooh, that's a tough one. He is supposed to be all powerful. I will work on that later. Let's go right ahead with this demon thing. Yeah, there's no demons. There's no demons. Only when I'm having a seizure, Bobby. There's no demons. And they don't believe in demons. Okay, the Son of Sam is an evil scumbag, not because his mother died at birth, not because his father put him up for adoption. He's an evil scumbag because he's an evil scumbag. That's it. I always say it, like, people always make excuses for assholes, for example. Oh, he's on the spectrum, or oh, he's got this. Or how about he's just an asshole? How about that? How about some people are just fucking assholes and he's one of them? You know what I mean? Because it happens all the time. They're everywhere. Assholes galore, I assure you. Okay, there doesn't need to be any excuse for why they are that. And Son of Sam is just an evil motherfucker who got off by killing innocent young men and women. But Michael Franzese, he gets kookier and kookier with this fucking religion shit. But like I said, when you charge a minimum of $5,000 to speak at a church, you want to get as many people on board as possible so they could buy up those tickets, Joey, 6'7", $10. Hey, Chris, hope all's well. Have a fun and safe weekend, chat. Same to you, Joe. Thank you for the $10, my friend. Yeah, then, I want to say 40 minutes, but like I said, it's more like probably an hour. I don't know. I think the episode's an hour and 15 minutes. Michael probably talks in the beginning by himself for 15 minutes, and then it's, I don't know, probably about an hour, somewhere close. He just drones on about his fucking childhood. I could not believe what I was hearing. Son of Sam should have been executed for his crimes. He should not have the right to even live life anymore. But to allow him to go on a huge YouTube platform and whine and bitch and moan about his childhood and tell stories. They're not all sad stories. Talking about playing fucking softball and all types of shit. Stickball. Like, am I listening to a serial killer talk about his childhood? Telling stories about his childhood, talking about fucking delis and fucking restaurants and all types of shit. What? It's so fucking boring, guys. So boring. I mean, it was torture to sit through, but I wanted to do this show. Torture. And I sat through every second of that bullshit. But I did it so you won't have to. I'm your hero. Okay, don't do it. You're going to regret it. This idiot just talking about his fucking childhood. And Michael was just sitting there listening. Really? Oh, really? Oh, really? Demons, God, angels. Yeah. And then I don't even know what the fuck part 2 is like. I heard some of it, though. I still don't think they really got around to the victims. Or what a piece of shit Son of Sam actually is. Hold on, let me see something. What's this? All right, well, we could disagree about the demons thing. I don't mind. But at least you agree on what's important. Yeah, absolutely. He was not possessed. No, it's a cop-out, Jerry. Exactly, it's a cop-out. It's an excuse. Everybody's got an excuse for their horrible actions, except for, stand-up guys and people who take personal responsibility. The only thing I want to hear out of the Son of Sam is, I killed 6 people. I injured about 8 more. I don't deserve to be on this earth any fucking more. I certainly don't deserve to be on YouTube telling my story. And I shouldn't get any attention from anyone. I should have died a long time ago. That's what he should have said. That's it. Michael's like talking about him like he's all noble because he says, I don't even go to parole meetings because I don't even want to, or parole hearings because I don't even want to get out. I deserve to be in here. He says that because he knows there's no possibility of him getting out. He would fucking jump for joy if he thought his next parole hearing he might be able to get out. And then you know what he'd do? He'd probably kill somebody else. Or he would follow in Michael's footsteps, go from being a scumbag on the streets to a scumbag in a church, and he'd make millions. Millions. People, religious people will fall for anything. Anything. That's why there's an OnlyFans bitch right now who is making $10 million a year. She left $10 million a year because she found God. No. What she found is that instead of getting railed in her ass for hours a day, okay, she can simply go on religious YouTube shows and podcasts and TV shows and tell her story of redemption. And she can make $12 million a year. That's the only fucking reason. That's the only reason. 10 million wasn't enough. She's sore all the time. She can't do it for 10. I mean, she wants to do something much easier for 12. Oh, I'll say I found God. People eat that shit up. They'll be throwing money at me. And she's right. And I'm sure they are. I'm sure they are. So many of these mob guys. Oh my God. While I was in prison, I found God. Come on. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. You found a good bullshit story because there's nothing the church loves more than that. Forget whores. Oh my God. Mob guys that turn their lives around because they found God. Oh my God. They can't get enough of that shit. They eat it up. They fucking love it. They love it. It never fails. It's a beautiful grift. Beautiful. And easy. Very easy. Let me just take a look at a few comments here. Guys, this is what you call a great show. What is this? It seems like there's people arguing. I was growing up in Queens. That summer was an unholy nightmare. Possession my butt. Yeah, my mom, a Brooklyn girl. You know what I mean? And around that time, they were living in Maspeth, Queens, of course. And she told me the stories about how they had to change their hair colors, I think, all types of crazy shit. The girls were all terrified. Yeah, I know. It's fucked up. No, Gary Gesso, I agree. There's no excuse. And that's why I'm going to pump this out there as much as I fucking can. I'm going to push it out there. How the fuck can you platform the Son of Sam? Let me tell you something, guys. I spent all day researching the Son of Sam. It'll bring you to tears just looking at the pictures of his victims and listening to how they died. I mean, couples, kids that were just out on a date or sitting in a car together. He even said all that Lover's Lane shit, that it was always something like that where the kids were in the car making out. He said that's bullshit. He would see a pair of girls on a porch and just walk up and shoot them both. You know what I mean? He didn't give a fuck. There was no MO, whatever. There was no exact type of victim like some serial killers have. It was just whoever he found. That's it. Let me get down here. Benny Diova, what's up, bro? Alex for Jigadija. $49.99. My man, thank you, bro. That's right, FBS. The Son of Sam should forfeit his life for the 3 he took. 6. The 6 he took. Yeah, I'm going to go over the victims' names. He killed 6 people. I'm going to go over their names. Like, look, and thank you, Alex, so much, bro. Dorothy McGuire glossed over victims. The real victim is apparently Berkowitz. Disgusting. Oh, to hear Michael Franzese tell it. Yeah. See, I'm so glad a lot of you people agree with me on this shit. And I'm sure a lot more will, too. That is fucking disgusting what he did. And it goes to show Michael Franzese will do anything for $1. Any fucking thing. He'll platform the worst of the worst. He don't give a fuck. He don't care. He just let this motherfucker go on his YouTube platform and talk to, what was it again? How long? How many views? 523,000 fucking people, with more to watch. In the future. What has he got? 1.21 million fucking subscribers. He just gave this scumbag piece of shit a platform so he could go on there and spew his nonsense and talk about self-harm, how the haunting thoughts of his mother dying because of him, because of his birth, caused him to self-harm. You didn't go far enough. You didn't go far enough, David. No, self-harm. And you know what's really infuriating? As he talks, David Berkowitz, I can't even believe I'm saying that. He talks about all the times he should have died, like in prison, somebody cut his throat. Came this close. All these times. It's another thing I say about life. And I'm always right. Evil people like that, even though we live in this world where God will punish you and all this other horse shit. And he's all knowing and all seeing and all powerful and all that stuff. Somehow, 5-year-olds can die of leukemia, but the Son of Sam can live through a near-death experience after near-death experience. His throat being slashed, the mafia looking for him. And he goes over a whole list of things. Murder attempt after murder attempt. This motherfucker beats. And he's alive and well. And I'm sure he's happy too, especially now that he gets to be all over YouTube. Unbelievable. What did Mike get from this interview? This insane nutcase stabbed an 18-year-old and 19-year-old woman. One died and murdered 6 women. Why would you sit across from a demented fuck like that? Because he don't give a fuck. He knows that that's a huge interview that won't just be talking about on no bullshit mob tube or even just YouTube. Won't just be, what did I say? Won't just be talked about, on this platform. No, it'll be talked about all over the place. He's not famous and rich enough, I guess. He doesn't feel like it. He needs to do more. What's next? Joey Molino and Little Snuff going to interview the corpse of John Gotti Sr. and ask him if his son is a rat. That's hilarious. Italian American. Thank you, bro, for contributing. Was it? I didn't get all the details yet. I know who the first victim was and stuff. She was actually stabbed. I'll get to all that. I think a lot of people didn't. Yeah. Kane Shades is watching. Let's get the numbers right. I'm sorry. And Mike talks about being a Christian. Mike, no real Christian will want to talk to this nutjob maniac. What for? He admitted to it. Mike, you can't help this guy unless you just want views. He doesn't want to help. What does he care? You think he gives a fuck if he ever speaks to him again? Of course not. Unless he's looking for a second interview. Mooch, what happened? All the people that made the interview happen. What happened? All the people that made the interview happen. Disgusting. Oh, you talking about what? Michael's people? Who the fuck knows? I wonder if the son of Sam actually had the same experience as that dude who killed John Lennon. I don't know, bro. But let me get to more now that I made it through some comments. I already talked about he blamed his mother, all that shit. Drones on about his childhood. Guilt over his mother's death. Self-harm. Okay, let's get to the names of the victims. Let's get to the names of the victims. Because he didn't say them, right? So we'll say them. Disrespectful cocksucker Michael Franzese. He killed about 8 people and injured 1, I believe. Is that what he did? He injured 1 and killed 8, huh? He doesn't even care. As much money as he has and as much money as that interview will bring him, he doesn't even care to research out of respect for the fucking victims or even his audience. The first one ever was actually stabbed. If I understand this correctly, if I got the timeline down right, and this is, they're not all in order, but I did put couples names in order, stuff like that. You'll see what I mean. Like I didn't put 2 names together. I got everybody separate, but I put one right after the other if it was a couple, stuff like that. Michelle Foreman was stabbed but survived. There was another girl that was stabbed too, apparently. Son of Sam confessed to this, but they couldn't find her. Donna Loria, killed. Judy Valenti, shot but survived. Christine Freund, killed. Virginia Voskerichian, if I pronounced that right, killed. Valentine Suriani, killed. Alexander Esau, killed. Stacy Moskowitz, killed. Robert Valenti, shot but survived. Carl Denaro, shot but survived. Donna DeMasi, shot but survived. Joanne Lamino, shot but survived and is now a paraplegic. Sal Cupo, Lupo, I'm sorry, swiping. Sal Lupo, shot but survived. Judy Placido, shot but survived. So 6 people dead. And I believe it's 8. I didn't count up my stuff I put in here. I could have missed 1 or 2, but I believe it's a total. I'm pretty positive. I know it was 6 that was killed. Let me see. 2, 3. Yeah, I believe I got. Nope, I got 8. Yeah, 8 shot but survived. One was stabbed. 7 others shot but survived. 1 became a paraplegic, and 6 dead. Okay. And Michael fucking Franzese puts him on his show. And here's the sad part, guys. There should be an outrage, a public outrage. People should go public outcry, whatever. They should be going fucking nuts. Okay? People should be losing their fucking minds about this. At least people who support Michael Franzese should no longer support him. And they should be outspoken and kind of go after him for this. But they won't. You know why? Religion. They believe the same horse shit. It's okay to platform Son of Sam because he's accepted Christ and that makes everything better. It didn't bring those people back to life. They're still dead. One is still a paraplegic. The other ones suffer from injuries that I'm sure have lasted since the shootings and stuff took place and will last until the day they die. It didn't make that better. No, but it makes religious people feel better. Because if Son of Sam can be forgiven, who can't? Doesn't matter what your sins are, adultery, murder, anything. Doesn't make a difference. You can be forgiven as long as you ask. And as long as you at least tell us that you've accepted Christ. Disgusting, guys. Disgusting. This is the type of shit that's done in the name of religion. People will give a serial killer a platform and kiss his ass for an hour and 15 minutes straight. Kiss his ass like he's a god. Of course, the first 15 minutes, Michael Franzese is sitting in front of his gigantic mafia picture he had painted. And he also sells. You know, I'll never forget the episode. It's after he shouted a few MobTube people out. He said, don't think of me for who I was. Think of me for who I am. That mob stuff, blah, blah, blah. Like it was all so bad. Within like 20 minutes, he pulls out an enormous painting that he had done to his specifications with his 50 favorite mobsters of all time. He's a fucking lying cocksucker and a hypocrite. He glorifies the mob more than anybody, more than any fucking buddy. Let me show you what I got. I didn't even look at it yet, but somebody sent me this, a good friend. Let me get to this. Listen. And you, I'm talking to you, everybody in the audience. You can be the lucky owner of what's called the Cosa Nostra 2 canvas for anywhere between, I don't know if you could see it, $699 and $899. He glorifies the mafia. It's to be expected. Glorifying serial killers. Who's next? Who is he going to have on next? I want to know. The sad part is, again, guys, there's going to be no outcry over this. Nobody really gives a fuck because most of his audience, and that's why he's got more subs than Sammy. Sammy's a way more interesting guy, but way better storyteller. You know why Michael has the audience he has? It's not because he's super interesting or even his life story is. It's because of the religious stuff. All you got to do is say, I love God a few times, and every religious person on the planet Earth will follow you. You could be doing a show telling nothing but N-word jokes, and they'll all be right there. You do a show condoning rape. They'll be right there. Oh, but he loves God. It's okay. For he knows not what he does. He put himself in that painting. Oh, he certainly did. Yeah, him and his father. Yeah. Well, he did admit that the dog thing was bullshit. I glorified a hole. We know. Man's ambition must be small to write his name on a shithouse wall. I like that, James Healy. Yeah, there you go, D. Truer words have never been spoken. Michael is jealous of me because Sonny never shared his bacon with him. No, that was all you. Bouncing on his knee. It's disgusting, Jerry. It's sickening. Yeah, in war. Yeah, good point. If that, but why even go to talk to him? You know what I mean? This is, guys, go look up the victims of Son of Sam and look at their pictures. They were kids. That's fucking heartbreaking. And guess what? The fucking people that were injured and even the people who were killed, you think that's all the victims? How many fucking people you think were ruined, their lives ruined, their families ruined? How many people you think suffer to this day because of losing a family member to this scumbag or taking care of a paraplegic? Because that piece of shit shot her for no good goddamn fucking reason. How many fucking families do you think fell apart after losing a child, a brother, a sister, whatever? It's just like chomos. You're not just destroying the kid. You're destroying everybody around them. Everybody. But Michael Franzese doesn't give a fuck. I'm telling you, I listened to an hour and 15 minutes. The first part, the entire first part, never did Michael talk about the victims in any type of way where he had sympathy or he was trying to, point out, well, listen, David, I mean, you did accept Christ, but it's not okay what you did. You could be forgiven, but you did some very horrible things in your life. No, just in the very beginning, he says, now I'm not saying accepting God justifies what he did. You kind of just did. That's why you got him on the show, apparently, right? This is true, D. Gainey. Let me get down here. Michael uses the church as a crutch to steal money. James Healy, he certainly does, and he always has. I've said it a million times. Listen, I hold the topic of addiction and recovery very near and dear to my heart, right? It's very important to me. Anybody who's been here for a long time can tell you I will drop everything to help a person who's suffering, a person who may need transportation to a detox, a person who needs money to get through rehab, a person who, no matter what they need, as long as it's not enabling them, I will help them. And if somebody from some organization, I don't know, some recovery organization called me tomorrow and said, we're in fucking Arizona, we would like you to come speak and tell your story in the hopes that it may help a few of the people that will be attending. At most, I would accept travel expenses. In other words, just airfare. That's it. But I would never, I don't care what you guys think about me, never charge. Because if I'm charging you to have me there, then it's a business. It's not coming from my heart. It's not something I really care about. That's why I don't ask for donations on the addiction and recovery shows. Because I'm not doing them for money. But Michael Franzese, I read it years ago, to go speak at these churches, you think he just goes and does it? Because he loves God and he accepted Christ and all this bullshit. He was born again. No, he charges a minimum of $5,000 per appearance at a church. It's a business. Religion in general is a business. But for Michael Franzese, that's all it is, a business. I agree, War. B.D. Mitchell, I am Christian, but when I saw that motherfucker interviewed him, I was surprised and disappointed. I also agree that an asshole is an asshole just because. Glad to see you are doing well. Well, thank you, B.D. I've never had so many people agree with me. Thank you. I appreciate that. I hope you're doing well also, my friend. Yeah. If I was religious, I might even feel stronger about it than I do now. I might even feel stronger about it. He'll have Chris Watts' sorry ass on next to talk about who was really the victim or how he was really the victim. Would you be surprised at this point? I'm coming from Michael Franzese. I'm telling you. This is going to be my new topic. Every day, I'll talk about Sammy too and whoever else I feel like it. But there's going to be a lot more of that than there is, me talking about fucking peons who wouldn't even exist on YouTube if it wasn't for me, which is pretty much all of them. Pretty much. Michael is a despicable human being. He certainly is. How are they religious if they are not wearing a giant Maltese cross? I don't know, Sean. I don't know. Jerry Gesso. The women this creep murdered can't talk no more, but he gets an hour out and says all that asinine bullshit. That's too much freedom for this guy doing an interview for a couple of hours. It ain't right. I agree. It ain't. You ain't shit, Sean McCarthy. LGBTQ Yizzo crew. All right, Yizzo. What the fuck? How much do you think James Proctor paid for interviewing Michael? I honestly didn't know James Proctor interviewed Michael, but James, I know for a fact, is personal friends with Michael. So, I don't know, $5,000. I'm kidding, James. I blame that fucking dog that told him to do it. There you go, Robert B. It's really his fault when it comes down to it. James had to buy 1,500 cases of that shitty wine to get the Franzese interview. Oh, yeah, I forgot about his wine. Jesus. All right, guys, that's it. I just wanted to come on to share my thoughts with you on the whole Michael Franzese thing. And I don't know when I'll see you next. I'm not sure. But eventually I'll see you again. I got more Michael Franzese shit to talk about. Trust me. I love you all. And until next time, salute.